This is a nosebleed perspective, and we're here with our top 10 tight end fantasy rankings in the PPR format. So last episode, we went through our 20 through 11, and this episode, we're going to start off with number 10, and I'll get it going with number 10, Mr. Robert Gronkowski himself is my top. He falls in my top 10. Look, the dude has a great connection with Tom Brady. It's been proven over the years. Yes, he did take a year off. And yes, he has probably done God knows what drugs and whatever he's been doing. He's been partying probably for the past year. But like you said, Cheech, this whole COVID thing probably helped the guy out. So he's in the best shape of his life. Tom Brady, Gronkowski, with Mike Evans. Like when he was in New England, they never had like a weapon. Like they had Edelman, they've had like slot receivers, they've had some people besides, like when you go back, you look at who have they had since Randy Moss is their like true number one, just an absolute athlete. And now they have Chris Godwin, they have Mike Evans on the outside. It's going to open up a lot. OJ Howard, God rest his soul, I don't think he really gets the love that he deserves this year, because I do like OJ Howard. He's a great tight end.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to have him on my team last year, but this year I don't see it. So I think he ends up in the top 10. He's just a beast. He knows how to play the game, and look for him to score a lot of touchdowns this year and have that connection with Tom Brady. So,
all right.
So at number 10, I also have Gronk. The only thing I have to add that makes Gronk at 10 is that they don't have a powerhouse at running back that is going to take up red zone or goal line targets. I think Gronk's their guy, and I think that's why they grabbed him, is for the goal line. Don't tell me Shady McCoy is going to be a good running back, because he didn't even play on the Kansas City Chiefs in the entire playoffs. They had some 5'5" terrible running back in his spot. So don't tell me Shady's going to do anything out there. Gronk at 10.
All right. So number 10, this dude, he should be a top 4 tight end, but this team does not have a quarterback. And I don't care what log says. Hunter Henry is being just robbed of his talent. Between Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert, Hunter Henry will not reach his full potential. And he's number 10. He has so much capability at the tight end position. He can move, he can run routes, he can catch the ball, he gets open. But I don't believe in Tyrod Taylor or Justin Herbert. Plus, they've got Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. I don't think that Hunter Henry on the Chargers is the same Hunter Henry he could be on a different team. So, Hunter Henry, number 10.
Yeah, I mean, so before the show, we don't go over our rankings with each other. We have no idea what we're going to say. So thank you for the assist. Number 9, I have Hunter Henry as well. But almost for those reasons that you kind of mentioned, Tyrod Taylor is going to be looking for some short throws out in the flat. And like you mentioned, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, definitely good receivers in the NFL. But Hunter Henry is still going to produce. He did just get paid. But I like Hunter Henry. I'm super happy if he's not going to fall to me, just because I know how my drafts work every single year. And I think he finishes top 10. I just think with Tyrod or Herbert, they're going to want somebody who's, produced on that offense too. I just think he's just going to be such a weapon. I don't know. I think more than he was hurt last year, I think, right? Or a little bit. Yeah. So just look for him to come out and be on a little bit of a redemption tour and make a name for himself. He just got paid. Hunter Henry, number 9 for me. Way okay with him being my tight end, but he's not going to be. So
I have Hunter Henry at 9 for all the reasons you guys said, and that's all I got.
Roger that. Yeah. So number 9. This was a weird one. I'm going to be curious if you guys have this dude. Mike Gesicki, Miami Dolphins. I like this dude. I've used him in Madden. He gets open. He's fast. I think he's like an 88 speed on Madden. Like, this dude is quick in real life and in the video game. He's being given a quarterback. Tua's got an arm on him, and Miami just isn't a good team, so they need to make somebody a star. And I think that this guy is going to be the shining star of the Miami offense. Mike Gesicki, number 9.
Yeah, so thank you again for the assists. Number 8, I have Mike Gesicki as well. Look, the dude, he finished number 11 overall in fantasy points last year, which is pretty good for somebody on that team last year. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So he averaged 6.9 points a game. You know, it could be better, but near the end of the season, especially with the emergence of Devontae Parker, he was definitely a threat. I think it has something to do with like the half sleeves at the elbow, right there. Like Jamal Adams.
Yeah.
Jamal Adams wears that. I think that has that's going to boost him up a lot. I think that definitely plays a part in his production in football. So I do like that, and he showed his potential last year. So I have him at number 9 for that reason. I think he's just going to be. I think he's just going to get better this year. So
number 8
or 8, sorry,
At number 8, I have Mike Gesicki. The only thing I'm going to add is the reason I had him 8. I moved him up yesterday at the COVID deadline. He was pretty low on my list, but when Albert Wilson said he's sitting out for the year, that's their slot guy. It's just going to open up a lot of targets for him. Young quarterbacks, love their tight ends, and I hate the wide receiver core in Miami. Someone's got to catch the ball. That's my number 8 pick.
I thought that dude was going to be a sleeper, but apparently he's a top 10.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's going in the 13th round, though. 13th. So
yeah, so he's a sleeper to everybody else, but in our draft, it's going to be rough. We're going to be racing to him. All right, so number 8, this is a dude that fucked me in fantasy last year, Tyler Higbee. He just turned on. That it was Logs and I were playing against each other, and between Higbee and Gurley in like the last 9 minutes of the game, Logs got 40 fantasy points. This is a dude. I mean, Jared Goff's gonna rely on him. I know last year they had Brandon Cooks. He got injured, and then Robert Woods was non-existent for half the season, and just Jared Goff's eyes. I don't think Jared Goff saw him on the field. And then Cooper Kupp was just that's all he had. So, and Tyler Higbee started to step up, and I think that this dude is going to grow more into the role. I know, Gibby, you were talking about how that's not Sean McVay's offense that he likes to play, but I could see Sean McVay getting comfortable with Jared Goff dumping up to the tight end because Jared Goff might not see out of one of his eyes after his performance last season. So he might need his tight end a little more.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so
I know I attacked Tyler Higbee there, but if he's available when the 10th round when I want a tight end, I'm probably taking him. But there's gonna be hatred when I draft him.
He's going in the late 7th.
So damn, good. I don't want him.
So he's got a lot of attention.
100-yard games, everyone's just gonna run all over that.
Yeah.
Damn. All right, so number 7, right?
Yep.
Number 7. So here's a guy. It's probably a shock. I put Zach Ertz here. I like Zach Ertz a lot, and I know he's their number 1 target in Philadelphia, but I just don't see it happening again. He finished number 5 overall in points per game last year in the tight end position. But man, we're in that area where tight ends are going to come up, I think, this year. And Zach Ertz is getting older, and he's injury prone, and that's a big for me. I just, with Dallas Goedert right there, he's going to produce. Obviously, that's why he's in the top 10, but I don't want him as early as, the first, I don't know where he's going, but first 5 rounds, first 6, 7, even first 10 rounds for me, I'm not taking Zach Ertz, and he will go before, 5th round. All right. So Gibby's saying he's going 5th round. There's no chance in hell I'm taking a tight end like Zach Ertz in the 5th, so nope. But I do like him. He's obviously their main target, so Carson Wentz loves him. We'll see what happens, but Dallas Goedert and it's just hard for me. So no.
So at number 7, I got the last tight end before, in my eyes, we get to the studs of the league. I've got Jared Cook here. He was tight end number 3 in the league after week 4. Once him and Breeze, the racist noodle arm guy, got synced up, he was an absolute monster. If you ever had him in the past, you know that he tends to disappear, and that's why he's in Game 7. Like, he will put up some goose eggs. He will put up some 0.5 point games. Like, he will not produce sometimes. So if your team's able to take that hit and you're able to take him in the 10th round and you got your starting lineup and you don't care about depth, go ahead and take Jared Cook.
All right. Yeah. So number 7, I've got a giant at the tight end position. And when I talk about giant, I mean New York Football Giants. Evan Ingram is going to be Danny Dimes' saving grace. I don't think that the New York Giants offense scores a whole lot of points. And that's why I have Evan Ingram at 7. But this dude is a great tight end and has so much potential. It's just he's on a team that the offense doesn't score. And that's why he's number 7. Otherwise, he would be up there with the names that you guys know are going to be in the top 3.
Yeah. Okay. So, what are we on now?
6.
So number 6 is where I put Darren Waller, a dude who just kind of came out of nowhere last year. But he had some huge, he's top whatever, but he had some big games last year. But I don't think he can repeat his performance and be like a top 5, top 4 tight end in the league with these guys. Yeah, he's a super athletic dude. He finished number 6 in the league in points per game, but he was top 3 in points throughout the season. So that tells you he just had some monster games. I don't know if that repeats with the quarterback, position kind of in question. It's just somebody I'm not real safe taking, and he's definitely going to go early for me, way early for me. So. But he's gonna do his thing. But Darren Waller for me, yeah, right there.
Yeah, so at number 6, I also have Darren Waller, the Las Vegas Raiders. He had 28% of this team's targets, which dominated. It was higher than any other team in the league at the tight end position. But in the first round, they took Henry Ruggs. In the third round, they took Brian Edwards, and they took Lynn Bowden. So that 28% is not going to be there. And I think he could, Log said, he could be a one-hit wonder. He's older, he's 28, and, he finally bloomed late in his life, and good for him. But I don't know if he repeats it, but he's too talented not to put at 6.
Do you know his average draft position is right now?
The very last pick of the 5th round.
Yeah, that's early. That's when you could be getting some primary flex.
Some good running, some good PPR running backs.
So you're either flexing or you're hitting your bench, you're getting ready to hit your bench. So yeah, that's not tight end position for me.
Yeah, you say his name last year. I guarantee before last year, how many people can tell me they knew who that dude was? And if you
the
can,
Walrus? No way.
You're a fucking liar because
yeah. He was absolutely a waiver pickup last season.
Yeah, a good one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he paid off. Yeah, but he wasn't you had to really know the sciences and chemistries of NFL to know to draft that dude. Anyway, number 6, Blogs already talked about him. Zach Ertz, like you said, he's getting old. He's got Dallas Goedert, who is equally as capable, but not as big of a name. So Zach Ertz is going to be covered a little bit more, especially because, like you also said, they don't have wide receivers. I know that Zach Ertz is the saving grace of Philly's receiving core, but eventually he's going to stop putting up the numbers that everybody's accustomed to him putting up, and this is going to be the year that he starts to slow down.
I mean, we saw it last year too. We saw him in games where he was he would have a big game and then he just would lay a complete goose egg because Goddard was out there, and it's just tough, man, because he is their focal point. So sorry, Gibby, go ahead. Or no, it's me.
on you.
Shit. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Shit. Number 5. Top 5. So I put Evan Ingram here. I think Evan Ingram is the most talented tight end in the National Football League. I love Evan Ingram. I think Danny Dimes, another year with him, can definitely produce. He was hurt. I think he only played – so let me just pull this up real quick. He played 8 games last year, and he still finished with like top 10 numbers. Like, it was crazy. Like, the dude, when he was in, he just like produced. He finished like top 5 average, like points per game or something like that. Or, it was, top 7. He was number 7 last year in points per game. He's one of those guys above that line who's going to produce and give you 10, 11, 12 points a game at the tight end position. And if you can get him and you're looking for a tight end, you feel comfortable with your wide receivers and your running backs at that point, definitely grab him, because he's almost like another wide receiver. I mean, he's that athletic, but his injuries got to like scare you a little bit. But, Evan Ingram is definitely – he's up there, man. Like, if he was on the Chiefs, if he was on the the 49ers, somebody like that, look out. But, I like him, but where he's at right now kind of stunts his growth, I think.
I have the same guy at number 5, Evan Ingram. Super talented guy. I like him a lot. Just limitations with offense.
Damn, Gibby, we're on the same page all day.
We are. We're about to skew off whenever you throw your boy in here.
Yeah, we are.
All right, so at number 5, this is a dude. You guys already talked about him. I believe in him, though. The Atlanta Falcons lost a great tight end last year. And Hayden Hurst is just as capable of filling those boots that Austin Hooper was filling, in my opinion. Ooh. Austin Hooper was an absolute stud with 2 great wide receivers on either side of him. And I think that Hayden Hurst can do just as much. He's an X factor on Madden, so obviously he's good. I'm just saying, man, I believe in Hayden Hurst. I know that I'm not probably going to draft him because he's going to be gone before I'm ready to take a tight end. But I
don't know.
Number
4 or number 5?
What?
Going in the 8th.
He's going in the 8th? The 8th is kind of like my awkward round. I don't know what to do at the 8th. So if he's available in the 8th, I might take him just because I'm saying that he's the number 5 tight end in the league. So if you're in our fantasy league and Hayden Hurst available in the 8th, leave him for me. I'll take him.
Shit.
Number 4.
All right, number 4. Jeez. All right, so kind of hinted at it. My boy, Tyler Higbee, and I really tried to – I know you guys don't believe this, but I'm trying to like take my biases aside. But the dude, he solidified himself as the number 1 tight end in a place where Gerald Everett, our number 2 now, he's really good too. So they're both super athletic tight ends. I like Tyler Higbee to be somebody who takes that next step forward. We saw it. If you had him on your fantasy team, you definitely picked him up in waivers like week 6 or 7 or beyond that almost. And he probably led you in the playoffs because all he did was like just catch balls. If you're in the PPR format, take him. Standard leagues, I'm not big on Higbee at all. He probably doesn't make my top 20 in standard leagues. So, but I do like him in that screen game that they're trying to work. I know you kind of mentioned it, Gibby. They're definitely have their eyes on that now as a threat, especially with Todd Gurley gone. But I think Tyler Higbee can be that next guy. I don't think he's going to be ever, a Travis Kelce or a George Kittle, but he's going to be in that realm next year when we're talking at the end of the season where he's a top 5 guy. I'm telling you, the way that offense works, like you said, a lot of that, they're going towards that 2 tight end set, and that screen game with Sean McVay drives me crazy sometimes. It really does. But he's going to be there. And Jared Goff really likes him a lot. Like, they have a really, if you look outside football, they have a really good connection. And when you look inside it, I mean, we saw it at the end of the year last year that they were a really good duo. So Cheech knows they are. So to his avail. But it's pretty bold putting him this high for me. But I'm telling you, I don't. Where's he going? Do you have that pulled up?
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay, I would imagine. Like, I'm not going to take him probably because eighth. Yeah, it's a little too rich for me for tight end position. But I look right here, a nosebleed perspective. He finishes within top 5 tight ends points per game next year.
Okay.
Points per game. I'm not going to make a bet, man. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Come on. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I
All
can't
right.
do that one.
All right. It's respectable. I'm going to go with the guy that you all disrespected. I'm going to go with Zach Ertz. This dude is an absolute stud. He had 290 targets in the past 2 seasons, which is insane. The only question with Zach Ertz is he worth a 4th or 5th round pick? If you get your 2 wide receivers, if you get your 2 running backs, are you willing to get Zach Ertz? And I know this is weird, but any of these other guys, these top 4 guys, I'm willing to reach for. If I have my starting running backs or my starting wide receivers, even if I don't from here on out, but for Zach Ertz, I need my starting wide receivers, starting running backs, because I can get his backup in the last round or the second to last round, and then I'm set at tight end. And tight end is such a washy position where you can get 5 points, or if you have your Travis Kelce, your George Kittle, your Zach Ertz, you can get your 15 points a game, and that's a big gap. The middle grounds, no, I don't want him. After Zach Ertz, after Evan Ingram, I really don't care about tight ends. But if he's there and I feel confident with my team and I have a good enough strategy to get some good running backs late and some good wide receivers late, I'm taking him.
All right. Number 4 is where I've got Las Vegas boy Darren Waller. I think that this dude is going to continue the season that he has because Derek Carr is just fighting for his life. So the Las Vegas Raiders, I mean, it's their first season in Las Vegas. They have to do something this year. Of course, like you guys said, they did draft some skilled players that are going to put up a little more competition for him, and some guys that are going to take some targets away from him. But Derek Carr has this relationship with Darren Waller now, and like they've played together. They've managed to at least make one of them look good in the NFL. So I think that Darren Waller continues to grow, and he's going to be the favorite target on this team, and that's going to make him a huge guy to go for in a PPR fantasy league. You're muted.
All right. So
I'm sorry. I'm back. Do you think if like Marcus Mariota comes back, like that has like an impact on?
Yeah, if Mariota ends up being the starter, that could hurt him, but I'm not going to bank on that.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right. So top 3 now, huh?
Yep.
All right. We'll probably. Yeah, we have the same guy here.
We have the same 3.
Yeah, same 3. But number 3, I put Mark Andrews here. I don't know where you guys have him, but it's hard not to look at him as an absolute stud in the NFL at the tight end position after last year, especially his rookie year. He put up big numbers. The next year, he just continued to prove that he was their number 1. As much that they traded their first round pick at tight end the year he was drafted away because they knew Mark Andrews was the guy. So I have him here at 3. Lamar Jackson's going to look towards him. They did lose Hayden, but I don't think that changes his value in that offense. So yeah, I have him here. Dude's a beast. I don't have anything else to say about him.
Yep. Mark Andrews, 3. Lamar loves drag routes to tight ends, and Mark Andrews loves running drag routes to quarterbacks like to dump it off. So it's just a perfect relationship, match made in heaven. Is he worth the 4th round pick for you guys is the question.
No. Easy. No.
Yeah, I'm not taking a tight end that early, but that's also why I'm going to pass on George Kittle at number 3. The dude, he's a stud. He's all about the mirac yards. He gets open. He's making Jimmy G look good, and he's going to make anyone that ever plays quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers while George Kittle is the tight end, he's going to make them look good because he catches everything. He gets the yards. He gets the touchdowns. And he's just an explosive, exciting guy. But, I mean, like, there's just two more tight ends in the league that are better than him, in my opinion. George Kittle, though, is an absolute stud, number 3.
Nice. Yeah, so you never know where these tight ends are going to go because people will start taking tight ends. Like, for instance, 4 or 5 years ago, Rob Gronkowski goes in the late first round in a lot of leagues.
Yeah.
So you never know where someone's going to reach for someone like my number 2 tight end in George Kittle. So I have George Kittle here. Yeah. I don't feel like I have to say anything for these top 2 guys because they've proven themselves year in, year out since they've been in the league. They're the X factor on that team. George Kittle on that team. Jimmy Garoppolo loves him. He's done his thing. It doesn't matter. Like, people know that Jimmy Garoppolo, the quarterback that he is, he's going to dump it off to someone like George Kittle, and he still finds a way to be just like this superhuman tight end. So, yeah, he's a monster. So that's why I have him at number 2.
So at number 2, I have Travis Kelce. The past 3 years, he's had 1,000 yards, 80 catches, 5 touchdowns, and has been the number 1 tight end in the last 3 years. His luck has finally ran out. He is the best receiving tight end in the league, but, they have Tyreek Hill. They have, a receiving back now. They actually have a receiving back, so I think that's the big difference. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is what bumps him to number 2.
Bumps him down or bumps him up?
Down. He should be number 1, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire takes some targets from the red zone from him.
Okay.
Yeah, I also have Travis Kelce at number 2. I mean, you said it. You're the Chiefs expert here. You know everything about them. The dude obviously is a monster tight end and has been the best tight end in the league, and he will be the first tight end to go in every single draft across the board. Guarantee it. But there's just one more guy that I think this season is going to be relied on a little heavier because his quarterback isn't as good.
Oh, so we have a little controversy here for the number 1 spot for the first time, right?
The first time, yeah.
All right, so yeah, number 1, I have Travis Kelce here. I think I don't know if I should even have to explain this. Like, this dude has been a monster in the league so far. Patrick Mahomes knows what he has in Killer Trav over there at the tight end position. Damian Williams sitting out. I think it can go one of 2 ways. I think it could help him. I think it could maybe affect him, but I'm leaning towards the way of helping him. He's going to look for that security blanket, that check down, especially in the PPR format. Killer Trav right here out of the University of Cincinnati is going to be the best tight end in fantasy next year. Again.
And I'm going to go with George Kittle at number 1 because this is a run-first team, and you can't just guard him with a coverage linebacker. You cannot put a coverage linebacker on George Kittle because he will pancake him every single time. So George Kittle is going to get a linebacker that has to start a run over him. Travis Kelce is going to get a safety. He's going to get a Tyrann Mathieu. He's going to get a guy who's coverage because that's all he does. I think the versatility of George Kittle is what allows him to be the number 1 tight end this year.
What? Can you look up where these 2 are going?
Yeah, so George Kittle is going with the 12th pick in the second round, so the last pick in the second round, and Travis Kelce is just going 3 picks before him, so late second. So you're going to have to get a running back and then take a tight end.
Is that – I would imagine –
So, CMC, yeah, you're getting CMC and then Kittle or Kelce. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so at number 1, I've got a dude that's also on a – not really a run-first team, but run-for-your-life-first team. And Mark Andrews, he is going to be Lamar Jackson's safety blanket this year. And you guys know those 20-pound blankets that people sleep with because they're anxious and they can't they need something to help them.
It's like a feather shirt, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Andrews is that. Mark Andrews is, in the movie Ted, how they're Thunder buddies. Like I think that they're protected and safe and comfortable together. That is what Mark Andrews is going to be to Lamar Jackson this year. He's going to be his Thunder buddy. He's going to be his weighted blanket. It's going to be the dude that bails him out when he needs to be bailed out. And because of that, there's going to be so many opportunities for Mark Andrews to get the football because it's just like a constant bailout situation because I don't believe in Lamar. Mark Andrews he's going to lead tight ends in receptions, lead tight ends and targets. He is going to put up insane numbers this year for a tight end. So Mark Andrews will be the number one tight end this season, in my opinion.
Well, look at that. We all had different number one at the tight end position.
I'm proud of us. It took us 4 positions to get
so
here.
It seems like you guys are out, but let's say you have the number 1 pick or the number 2 pick. You take CMC or you take I know CEO doesn't like Saquon. Yeah. So you have the number 1 running back in your eyes, CMC, and you have the opportunity to have the number 1 tight end in the league. You guys aren't taking him. None of us have the number 1 pick in our league, so we can talk about this.
I'm not.
You could lock down the running back and tight end position in your league with 2 picks.
I can't. I just can't. There's something psychologically. I just will not take a tight end with the first 2 picks. No chance in absolute hell. I don't care if it's George Kittle, Antonio Gates in his prime. I don't care if it's Travis Kelce and Mark. I just can't. It's just me probably, but I won't. I'll take another running back at that point because the best receivers. I feel like there's going to be I feel like there's going to be a good enough running back at that point. Hopefully, it just depends on your draft, but no, that's going to be a no for me, dog.
Yeah, same. So I was close last year. I had the number 2 pick, I think, in my Korea league last year. And so I took Zeke, and then I don't remember what wide receiver I took in the second, but then in the early third, I took Kelce because I had a Eagles fan drafting before me, and he took Ertz as the first pick of the 3rd round, and then I took Kelce as the second pick of the 3rd round. I'm not taking a tight end before the 3rd. But if in the 3rd round, any of these 3 individuals, Andrews, Kelce, or Kittle, are available, then I'll probably do it because, like, DJ Chark was available last year in, like, the 10th round, and he ended up being an absolute monster of a fantasy wide receiver. So you never know, like, what, like, buried treasure you're going to find late in the draft. And, like, Chark was one of those dudes that, like, Chark and DJ Moore were 2 dudes that were available late in the draft last year that made me money. So I'm not afraid of taking a tight end in the 3rd round if one of the top 3 tight ends in the NFL is available because I know that I'm going to find some treasure later on in the draft.
Yeah, I'm not going to take a tight end with the first probably 5 picks. I don't care. I don't care if late 5th I'm sitting there and somebody in my top 5 is there. I can't do it, man. I want to build up my bench with a running back, wide receiver, flex position as much as possible. And that's my strategy. Obviously, it's not always worked, but that's just what I do. So I just can't do it, man.
I mean, it's all about just like what's available at the moment. Like I know that I have the 10th pick this year. So I know that by the time the 10th pick of the 3rd round happens, I know those 3 dudes are going to be gone. So I'm not even entertaining the idea of taking a tight end that early.
Yeah, exactly. And you know these people are going to go, so you can't even project anything. You just have to look at, just wait and see what's best available. Make a list. What do I like more than the other, and whenever that time comes, who is on that list available? Gibby, are you taking one of those guys with that pick? Yeah.
If I can lock down a tight end position, because here's my thing. Tight end is such a streamable position because after you get past Ertz, like it's just a crapshoot. It's a matchup thing. I'm streaming tight ends. I'm dropping them. If I can lock down the tight end position and I don't have to worry about the tight end position, it's a whole different game. Like last year it's different because I was able to have Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson late in a draft. But when you don't have to stream guys like that and you don't have to worry about what matchup and that, it's a whole different game. And I just feel like if you're able to have a top running back and a top tight end, that's 2 positions that you never have to worry about the rest of the season. You can do all your research on other positions, and I think that it could be a good strategy.
So as a fantasy player, you've been playing for a while now. And I would imagine that's one of your first times where you had a tight end who was just like super secure every single week.
Yeah, because most of the time I don't do that. There's another strategy that I do, and I hate to bring this up. It's a no running back in the first 5 round strategy, and it only works in PPR. It will only work in PPR. Wide receiver, because so right now in our league I'm sitting at 7. I can get a number 1, number 2, number 3 tight end wide receiver, come back around and get another top 5 wide receiver because everyone's going to be freaking out about running backs. We talked about it, 11, 12.
Yeah.
You have to take running back, or you're screwed. So I can have 2 solid wide receivers come back around, get a tight end quarterback. So I could, if might not get Lamar, maybe Patrick, and if I can just lock down that, the rest of my draft is literally running backs. The rest of the time is running backs, and a guy that I like just like the James Whites, them guys, the only good in PPR leagues.
They'll
it's
be
not going to work
available,
in the
yeah.
standard. They're going to be available late. So
Yeah, I
it's
think
just
James
another
White right now is
strategy.
going like 118th.
Exactly.
So,
Just the no running backs in the first 5 rounds. Lock up your other positions and then stress about running backs for 16 weeks. Your other spots are secure. It's a hard strategy, but since the first time I did it, it's worked in a lot of leagues.
So basically, whenever if you decide to go that route and take the tight
gotta
end
go.
super early,
You're
you have to
you're
go like
set.
you have to like go now. Like I don't.
full in
You have to be around that
mid-range
mid range because
because you can't pass up Zeke.
No,
to
you
do
can't.
that.
You can't. If you're a top 5 pick, you can't pass up Zeke. You can't pass up
Kamara,
like
yeah.
Saquon, a CMC. Even if you fall a little bit later, maybe a Michael Thomas if you want, but
Just
man,
try it in your guys' mock draft. Try no running backs in the first 5 rounds. Tell me what you think. See if you like it or not.
I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough because the running back's the hardest position. Wide receiver is really deep.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
So I'm drafting Mahomes and Lamar in the first 2 rounds.
Bam.
Dude.
Be opposite of everyone else. If you're doing the same thing everyone else is doing, you're not going to win.
Yeah, then I'm going for 3 kickers in a row.
Bold move.
Taco core.
All right. Well, this has been a Nosebleed Perspective. We did our top 20 on this episode, top 10 tight ends. So let us know your feedback, subscribe to the channel, and check us out on Spotify, YouTube, blah, 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 all that shit. And let us know your thoughts. So y'all take care.